words of the late Dr. Miles Monroe, the Bible is not for information. Application of the Constitution produces transformation. Your transformation then creates a positive vibration that synchronizes your spiritual GPS with kingdom navigation. Blessings and peace, everyone. Introducing to you this book authored by my brother and friend, Ambassador Nicholas Robdon Robertson, Positive Vibration, Navigating Through Difficult Times. Between the covers of this book, you will find effective tools and powerful weapons that will help you to live victoriously in spite of struggles and challenges. This is a must read.
Hey Bacha! Hi guys, what's up? My name is Erin Scarlett and I'm the owner and CEO of Ireland. That means I design my own merch. One of them is a child of the king to remind children that they're worthy. Remember now, check us out at ireland.shop. Bye!
Thank you. Let me say good afternoon to those who are joining us right here in the Youth Corner. Yes, it is PB365 plus Global Youth Corner. Yes, this is the place where we look at real life, real issues, and real solutions. All right, everything real. Once you're hearing me and you can hear me, you just need to go to the comment section and type everything real, everything real, everything real. Yes, man, once you can't hear me, type everything real. Yeah, everything real. All right, this is how we do it on a Saturday afternoon, where we sit inside and we discuss some real life, real issues, and of course, real solution. And the issue to be discussed this evening is In Spite of, I Overcame, Chronicles for Success. So in the meantime, let me ask you to go ahead and invite your friend. Go ahead and invite someone to the Youth Corner. Yep, and in the meantime, while you're inviting your friends to come on and join us inside of the Youth Corner, remember the passcode is everything real, everything real. Yeah, man. Yeah. I'm seeing that in the comment section. Everything real. Everything real, nothing fake around here. We're going to be looking at real life, real issues, and of course, real solution. And I want to let you know I got a real guest in the building. Real guest, real individual, real Jamaican woman, real woman. Yeah. And so in the meantime, let me ask you to go ahead and help us as we lift some song, some tune inside of the Youth Corner.
Now, when them treat me less than good, put me in a box like a rectangle. Oh,
A little quote inside there. Now, according to Winston Churchill, success is not final. Failure is not final. It is a courage to continue that counts. You're sharing it with your friends. We want to let you know what's going on inside here. This is the evening. We're going to be talking about success. And in the meantime, I have some quotations to leave with you. I want you to get out your pen. This is how we do it in the youth corner. You need a pen, you need a paper, you need an iPad, you need a cellular phone. Some of you need to make a new post. Well, according to Herman Melville, it is better to fail in originality than to succeed in imitation. Hear me, no, man. Everybody go to the comment section and type everything real around here. In the meantime, Nesbeth. Some people who may have tried to go around you, but here's this quotation by Henry David Thoreau. Success usually comes to those who are too busy to be looking for it. Listen, I'm looking for it this evening. Me now, when them look me now, much like a rectangle. Look at me now, look at me now, look at me now. I'm telling my life, but them used to go round me, go round. No one used to come round me. My life was so lonely. Look at me now, look at me now, look at me now, look at me now. But them treat me less than none. Put me now, much like a rectangle. And while they're looking at you now, there's a man called Jim Rohn who once said, successful people do what successful people are not willing to do. Watch this. Let me say that again. Successful people do what unsuccessful people are not willing to do. Don't wish it were easier. Just wish you were better. That is what we are saying inside of the youth corner. Yes, that is what Nesbeth is saying. Nesbeth is saying, listen, in spite of what they have said, in spite of what you've been through, in spite of where you've been, in spite of where you're from, he's letting you know that success is still possible. And please understand, when we speak about success inside of the youth corner, we're talking about the purpose to which you were created for. Listen, nobody can alter that assignment except you. And this is why the Bible tells you, upon this rock I build my church. And if God builds you, if God calls you, and if God forms you for his purpose, can I just let you know that not even the gates of hell, can I just testify on here, the most powerful demon down in hell can stop you from getting there. But guess what? There's one person who can stop you, and that is you. Come on, somebody need to go ahead and comment in the section. You see that person? Will not be me. I will not stand in front of progress and I will not bar my own success, and I will not hinder myself from getting and realizing purpose. All right, so this evening, let me go ahead and just welcome you again in the Youth Corner. I'm going to ask you to go ahead again and share this program. I have a very interesting guest in the building who will be here to share her heart out with us this evening. She has prepared, I can tell you, she's in the blocks. She has done all the training. She has run the hilltop. She have run down in the valley. Yes, you know, it's champ season. Big up to Jamaica College, the boys at 189 Road over there in Jamaica. And to those who are abroad who don't know what I'm talking about, I am talking about the best boys and girls athletic competition in the world. Jamaica College, after 10 years, has taken it back. But watch out, man. We still a look for it. Yeah, the boys at Red Hills are looking back out. We will be back. So congratulations, Jamaica College, congratulations. And congratulations to the school, the Blue School, Edwin Allen. Yeah, and girls went over 300 points. What an awesome day it was inside of the stadium. Listen, man, big up zooming up. And I am bigging up One Spot Media who kept me updated so I could stay right here in the UK and participate in one of the most loved sports. In the meantime, go ahead and share the program because I believe she's a 400-meter runner. She has run the hills. She has run the hurdles. And yeah, man, she's just in the starting block. She's just waiting for the gun to go off. And then she's going to be out here sharing with you all that she has been preparing to share with you. So go ahead, invite those young people, invite those children, invite the young, the old, the adult. Guess what? Even if you're 99 years old, you're still a youth in the eyes of the Lord. So let me go and tell you, just go ahead and invite everybody. Invite grandma, invite grandpa. Yeah, man, grandson, grandnephew, niece, everybody, nephew. Call the neighbors over. Let them know that we're right here inside of the Youth Corner. In the meantime, let me go ahead and shout out Marjorie. Big yourself up, Alkina Anderson. Yeah, all right. Annika, you know a good school. You know a good school. Good, right, and I'm seeing, all right, here, Camila said up, big up Jesse, runner, who fell while running and got up back and came third. I want you someone, big up, we're disappointed how Jesse didn't get all the points in the 4x4. They work for it, but, you know, this is how it is. Big yourself up, Deborah. Big yourself up, the kid Dr. Carlin Grant, big yourself up, Kemonique, big yourself up, Claudia, all right, big yourself up, Antonia Chambers, big yourself up, Nadine Lloyd, big on yourself up, and I know how we do it, we have to keep the vibes and energy inside of this, the Youth Corner. This is where we come for a reason and keep it light. Watch this. We will preach, but we will not preach today. We're just going to keep it light and cool. So this week we are again looking at In Spite of, I Overcame, and Chronicles of Success. I want you to write this down before the presenter comes. Because you see, when the presenter finish, you will need to decide which of the two type of people you are going to entertain. Now, according to Ray Goforth, there are two types of people who will tell you that you cannot make a difference in this world. Those who are afraid to try and those who are afraid you will succeed. Yeah, man. Anytime someone telling you that you're not going to make it, some they are too afraid to try, and the others they are too afraid that you will succeed. And so this is why it's important that we examine this very important statement. So without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get ready to invite our guests inside this evening. All right, so she is Lanisia Rhoden, and she is a social entrepreneur and non-profit management consultant. Lanisia Rhoden uh, who is passionate about youth and community development and entrepreneurship. She is committed to helping others identify and fulfill their purpose and helping NGOs globally become sustainable through social enterprise development. Wait, do I need to tell you to go and call your friends? All of those persons who are thinking about starting that business? Yeah? Do I need to tell you to go? Do I need to tell you to get your pen and your paper and get ready to take information? All right, I won't tell you again. All right, so Lanisia has over 12 years experience in the non-profit and entrepreneurship sectors. She is the founder and executive director of award-winning non-governmental organization NGO Young Women / Men of Purpose, YWOP, YMOP. Just like how she have one for the woman them and one for the man them. I mean, the man them not left out, An organization which provides career guidance. So if you're looking for career guidance, this is the organization that is open to you. She provides career guidance, mentorship, and entrepreneurship training and support to young people in Jamaica. She founded the organization in 2009 after becoming the JCDC Miss Manchester Festival Queen. Oh, you mean? As a visionary, Lanisia has led the development of the NGO and acquired funding from the international and local funding agencies of over, watch out, man, 250,000 US dollars to execute several outreach and community development projects for youth in Jamaica. Wow. She also serves as the CEO of the organization's social enterprise, Link Your Purpose, LYP, an online career development platform and social enterprise created to help young people identify and fulfill their career goals through technology and expand the services of young women / men of purpose, YWOP, YMOP, and contribute to its sustainability. Throughout her years of service, Lanisia has received several awards for her work, including the Commonwealth Youth Award for Excellence in Development Work 2013, the Jamaica Governor General's Award for Youth Leadership and Community Development in 2011, the Leader Worth Following Award from the Leader Cast Kingston 2019. She was recognized and awarded for her contributions to the field of business by the Gleaner's Player magazine, who honored 25 distinguished women on International Women's Day 2018, and her NGO YWOP, YMOP received the CVSS Non-Profit Organization of the Year 2018 award. Lanisia has a Master of Science in Innovation Management and Entrepreneurship from the University of Manchester, UK, as a Rotary Ambassadorial Scholar, a Bachelor of Science in Food Service Management from the University of Technology of Jamaica, and has had her work accepted for presentations at international entrepreneurship conferences and published in the International Entrepreneurship Journal. She has represented Jamaica and the Caribbean and has participated in incubators, accelerators, conferences, and fellowship programs in over 16 countries because of her work in youth and community development and entrepreneurship. Some of these include being a social enterprise fellow and graduate of the Do School Germany a young founder of the Westerwelle Foundation Berlin, alumni of the Daimler, and I will not attempt to call that other name in Berlin, was one of two winners to represent the Caribbean at the SWUSH SWUSH Global Impact Accelerator in Finland 2017, and currently is a grantee and global innovator of the Expo 2020 Dubai Expo Live Innovation Grant Program, where she won 100,000 US dollar for her social enterprise. Link your purpose and will be a part of a team that will represent the organization at the World Expo later this year. Lanisia has and continues to overcome many challenges on her success journey, but her passion for helping young people to identify and fulfill their purpose and to help other NGOs become sustainable while creating impact, and her faith and total dependence on God continues to be the force behind her success. Wow, let me tell you, she has already laid the platform. She has let us know clearly by her biography that there is something for her to share with us this evening. And guess what? I am excited to have her. So without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Lanisia Rhoden to the Youth Corner. Woman, Lanisia Rhoden. Why, I tell you, can I just by congratulating you and just say, man, well done.
Thank you very much, Robdon. It's a pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. We are excited to have you inside of the Youth Corner. We are ready, hungry. Listen, we're not even going to talk. We are just going to sit down and listen to the wonderful dish that you have prepared for us already. We just want to hear all that the Lord and the wisdom that God is going to allow you to share with us right here inside of the Youth Corner. So once again, I just want to say welcome to the Youth Corner.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. So without any further ado, people, I am going to decrease and allow her to increase. Go ahead.
Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. It's really a pleasure for me to be here to share my story with you. The topic is In Spite of, I Overcame, Chronicles for Success. And I'm sure I got invited here because Robdon and his team thinks I'm somebody who is successful. And there are many persons who may see me as successful also. And the truth is, I do see myself as successful, but it doesn't mean that the journey ends here. There is still so much left that I want to do. There's so much more that I'm working on, and all of it boils down to being able to fulfill my purpose. But success, it's never a straight line. And that's one of the things that I'm going to talk about. I'm actually going to be highlighting 5 things that I overcame. Some of them I'm still overcoming in order to get to this level of success. And as I said, I'm not where I want to be, so the journey continues. Now, Robdon, I don't know if you'll be able to share the PowerPoint, but if not, I'll go ahead. But, one of the first things that I want to share with you is my philosophy. The first time I was introduced to the term philosophy, this is the philosophy that I chose for my life, and it has been a guiding principle for me. It is actually a Bible verse, and it is taken from Philippians 4, verse 13, and it says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That has been my philosophy from as far back as I remember. I think about high school when I had to choose a philosophy. And that is when I chose the scripture. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And it's not just something, maybe then when I chose it, I was just saying it. But I can tell you that the reason why I've had successes in my life is because I firmly believe this. I firmly believe this scripture that I can do all things. In fact, every single thing that I have done, it is not of my own strength, but it is because of the strength of God that has been working through me. That has been my guiding philosophy. That has been my guide when I'm down, when I'm weak, when I feel like I can't go any further. This is what I go back to. This is, I mean, I call on God, I pray, and I just trust Him that He will guide me through it. And I want to make a point right here. So, believing this doesn't mean or didn't mean that I'm just going to, I was sitting back and relaxing and expecting things to work, right? It meant that I had to, I always like to say that I like to put my faith in action. I had to put my faith in action and take action to get the results that I want. So a part of my success journey and one of the main and key ingredients to achieving success in this life is that you have to take action. You have to get up and go. Even when you're weak and you're calling on God for strength, if you don't get up out of your bed, if you don't get up from before the television, if you don't just get up out of your seat and take some action, even when you don't know what you're doing, you're not going to reap the rewards and see the results. So that is very, very important. Now, before I go into the 5 in spite ofs, I also want to share with you that success comes from having a positive mindset. If you do not have a positive mindset, I can guarantee that you may not experience success. And the reason you need a positive mindset is because of all the in spite of that are going to happen along the journey. If I did not have a positive mindset, knowing and believing that all things, whether good or bad, all things work together for my good, all things will end up right. No matter the struggles that I am facing or I have gone through, at the end of it, because I know the promises that God has for me, it is going to be okay, then I would not be where I'm at. So it all starts in the mind. You have to have a positive mindset. You have to be that optimist, even when you don't see things before you. There's this quote that I like that says, you don't need to see the entire staircase. You just need to be able to take the first step. And that is how we put our faith in action. That is the kind of mindset that we have to develop. So I'm going to jump to in spite of. The first thing that I had to overcome in order to achieve success. And the very first thing that I had to overcome was lack. Now, I don't know if I can see you when you type in the chat, but is there anyone who is experiencing lack, any form of lack? Now, many of us as humans, especially based on where you are born, growing up here in Jamaica, coming from a family where my mother was a dressmaker and my father worked as a houseman gardener with a family, I did not have everything I needed, right? My parents also might not have had the abundance mindset or be aware of many of the things that I am aware of now. And so growing up in a household with my brother, there were things that I wanted and I was told that, you can't get this because we can't afford it, right? So coming from that background, you grow up with that mindset of lack where you want something, you want to do something, but because you don't have the resources, you may feel as if you cannot achieve it. So the very first thing though to understand about lack is to understand what is it that you're lacking. What are you lacking? What are the things that you will lack that can prevent you from achieving success? Some of the things that we lack include money. So you may say you lack money. Other people may say that they lack resources, physical resources. Some people on this success journey, some of the things that people will say they lack are people. So you don't have the people supporting you, you don't have the family members supporting you, or you don't have friends supporting you. And that is a type of lack. Some persons will also say that they lack the right environment. So, oh, I was born in a developing country, in a third world country, whatever name you want to give to it, right? I was born in the inner city, in the ghetto, whatever name you want to give to it, right? So we weren't born in the right environment. Some of us sit down and we think that, oh, if I was born in Buckingham Palace, then imagine the things that I would do, right? Some of us say, oh, if I was born in America, because we stay here and we think that the grass is greener. But there are persons who were born in America where, you know, the grass is greener and they still have not yet achieved success. So it means that success cannot be or might not be tied to the things that we think we lack. So that is something that I want to suggest to you and to encourage you to think about it in your own lives. What is that thing that you think that you lack that is preventing you from achieving the success that you want to achieve? Is it money? A lot of us, that's the easiest one, I think, and the quickest one that we like to talk about and to say, oh, I don't have enough money. And I've said that in my life. I've said that. When I was in high school, I remember I always did the tourism subjects because I wanted to work in the hospitality industry. And one of the first times that I actually verbalized and say, oh, I don't have the money to do this. And I didn't realize if it was not for a teacher who came up to me and said otherwise, then I would not be where I'm at. But what happened in high school was I wanted to do tourism. So I was doing food and nutrition. I was doing all these courses in high school. And then when I got to sixth form, lower sixth form, a teacher came to me and she said, but Lanisia, you want to study hospitality. Why don't you go to UTech? You don't have to go to upper six. And you know, the first thing I said to her, I said to her, but I can't go to university or college. My parents don't have any money to send me. And she said to me, you can get student loan. And I said, okay. And she helped me. She gave me the application form. She gave me the form for student loan. And she helped me to apply. And I applied. My friend and I, there was another friend who were interested in the same thing. Both of us applied. We got through to UTech and we got student loan. And I went to college. I went to university. Now, if I was stuck on the fact that I lacked money, I would not have gotten there. So I did not take the money from my own pocket to get to university. So that is something that I want you to think about. Yes, you may lack it. So if you turn out your pocket right now or your purse, you may not see the money that you need in it. And that is the reality and that is the truth. But who says that the money needs to come from your pocket in order to help you to fulfill your purpose and to do the things that God has called you to do? Who says that the money needs to come from your pocket in order to pay for your studies, to pay for something else so that you can achieve success and to fulfill your purpose? I went to university, and while I was there, I also got scholarships. I got 2 scholarships while I was there. Again, why? Because I knew that I didn't have all the money, and I was thinking about it when I said, I don't want to have all of this to pay back. And so I applied for scholarships. Before I understood what it meant to really speak into being, I said to myself that I am going to get a scholarship. And what I want you to understand is, even though you say it over your life or you say it, you declare it, it doesn't mean that it is going to happen when you want it to happen. It doesn't mean that it is going to happen how you want it to happen. But if you are a believer in God, then you know it is going to happen at the right time, at the time that God has ordained it to happen. And so even though I applied for scholarships from my second year at university, I did not get the news that I got them until the end, almost end of my fourth year. But at that time, the money came at the right time because I needed to go abroad. And that money, because my school fees were already paid, could have helped to get there. So today I want to challenge you that you can achieve success even though you lack, even though you think you are in lack. We serve a God who supplies all our needs. And all we need to do is to pray to Him, to tell Him what we need, and to believe it, and to take the action that He wants us to take in order to achieve it. If I did not apply for the scholarships, if I didn't put in my application for university, I would not have gotten there. And this is just one example, but this has followed me throughout my life in different areas. And the truth is that at different points of your life, you're going to think that you don't have the money. I studied in the UK. I went abroad. I studied in the UK and I had no money. But when I finished my first degree, I declared and I said, I will do a master's and I'm not doing it in Jamaica. I'm doing it abroad and I'm not paying for it. I said that. And I applied for the scholarships that if I was shortlisted. And the worst thing, is when you apply for things and you're shortlisted. You see, if they don't choose you, you of course you feel bad. But when you're shortlisted and you go to the interview, you're interfacing with the interviewers and you hear that you're top two, and then you get that disappointing news. It's heartbreaking. And I've had several of those. I've applied for many scholarships, many jobs, many things, gone to the interviews, and then, heard that I wasn't successful. But I kept on going. I kept on applying. And eventually, I got a scholarship. You'd have heard from the introduction, I got the Rotary Ambassadorial Scholarship to study in the UK. I remember the day I got that scholarship, it was a bad day for me. It was not a good day. I was running a business and things were just going wrong. And that evening when I got the email, that shifted everything. It shifted everything. And I just had to give all glory and praise to God because it would have been years of applying, years of hearing no. And then that would have shifted and I would have gotten that scholarship. I remember when I was applying that there was another person in the room and the young lady said, I would not apply for that because it was a fixed grant. And she said, when the money run out, what you do? I didn't care about that. That was not my aim. My aim is to get the scholarship to go. And the truth is, the money was not enough. But I went, and when I was in the UK, I got a part-time job and I was able to take care of myself. And so I just want you to understand that lack is something mental. And in order to achieve success, you have to move your mind. You have to change your mindset. Change your mindset from a mindset of lack. Understand that even if you are not seeing it physically before you, in your hand, you can get it. You can achieve it. You can get all the money you need. God will provide the money you need to do the things that you need to do in order to achieve your purpose and to achieve success. He will send all the resources to you that you need in order to fulfill the purpose that He has placed on your life. He will send the people that you need in order to carry out the work that He has called you to do. And He will place you in the right environment. In fact, He will make the environment that you are in. He will transform it to be the right environment if He does not physically lift you out of it. I run a non-profit organization, and the volunteers in the organization have never literally gone out there to recruit anybody. When it started, people start coming to me, I want to be a part of it. And the reason why we've grown and we're able to do the things, everything that you heard in my introduction was because the Lord aligned the people. There are people who bringing opportunities to me, right? People who say, oh, Lanisia, this is here, you should apply for it, or this is an opportunity that you should take. Do you need funding for this? You get to that level, but if I did not start, I would not have gotten there. I'm going to skip this, jump to the second, in spite of. And the second one, which cripples a lot of persons, is fear. What are you fearing today? What are your fears? What fears do you have that are preventing you from achieving success, from carrying out the work that you are called to do, from taking action? Is it your fear of failure? That's a big one. There are many persons who will never get started because of their fear of failure. Remember, the interesting thing, you cannot fail unless you start something. Yet a lot of people are crippled by failure and they've never started. So is your fear of failure, your assumption that this thing is not going to work, preventing you from taking action? I go back to the scripture that I started with. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. If God is in the vessel, you cannot fail. Things may not work out when you want it to work out. They may not work out when you want it to work out. But you cannot fail. They will work the way they are supposed to work, when they are supposed to work. Another fear that many people have is fear that you don't know enough. You have this thing that you're supposed to do, this business that you're supposed to start, this NGO that you're supposed to start. But you tell yourself, I don't know enough. I don't know enough about running a business in Jamaica or in Canada or in the UK. I don't know enough about the nonprofit sector. And so I cannot get started. The good thing is that we live in an environment where information is at our fingertips. If you don't have enough information about something, you can go and Google it. You can carry out your research.
It's true.
There are many, you can YouTube it. You can watch videos on YouTube too. There are many successful persons who started their businesses by just watching somebody else, watching a YouTube video. There are many persons who started their own business by just exploring on the computers. Many artists made many great artists. They were just exploring. They just started to learn self-taught. So if you think you do not know enough, and I use the word think because many times it is not that you don't know enough, but it is the mindset to tell yourself that you don't know enough. I've always heard, as on my entrepreneurial journey, I've always heard the thing that there's somebody out there who's not as qualified as you, not as knowledgeable as you, who is doing the thing that you want to do just because they decided to take that risk and to get started. One of the greatest, one of the things that really pulled me up a few years ago, even though I was doing things, I've had some level of success, but as I said, there are many other things that I want to do and I know where I want to get to. And I never forget, I was judging an entrepreneur competition. And while judging the competition, I had to do some training first. And I remember all the participants were adults. And at the end, I gave a quiz and I received a paper where the person only barely wrote their name. I could hardly even read it. And it occurred to me that maybe this person did not know how to write. And I left it there. We moved on after the training to the pitch competition. And a gentleman went up and he pitched his business. He was in the hardware business and he told us how many millions he was making per year from the business. And he told his story of how he got started. Yeah. He was a taxi driver, partnered with another taxi driver, and they started the hardware with one truck until they are at where they are. And that really did something for me because I'm like, oh, but this is the same person. When I match the name, I'm like, this is the same gentleman. He cannot write properly. And I had to look into myself and say, but wait, Lanisia, you have a degree, you have a master's degree, and you still are there ifing and butting about the things that you're supposed to do. And here is somebody who might not be able to read or write properly, yet they're out there doing the thing that they're supposed to do. So sometimes it is just our mind where we think and we believe this thing that we don't know enough, while we actually don't get started on the thing that we're supposed to do because of this fear. You know, it's one thing to think that you don't know enough. It is another thing to think that you aren't enough. How many of you fear you are not doing the thing that you're supposed to do? You're not achieving success in any area of your life because you believe that you aren't good enough. And I say success in any area because success is not just in running a business or running a non-profit, getting awards or getting degrees. Success could be just in your family. You're a successful parent. It could be how you are serving church. It could be how you're showing up among your friends. Are you achieving success in these areas of your life? It could be success in your health. Are you achieving success in these areas of your life? And is the fear that you aren't good enough? You are not worthy of success. You're not worthy to achieve this thing, be crippling you and keeping you from achieving the success that you should achieve. There's another fear that I've also experienced, and it's something I'm still working on. Fear of what others will say. How many of us, we're so fearful of what others are going to say about this thing that we want to do, that we do not take any action at all? The truth is that people will always talk. Whether you do something or you don't, people will always talk. So you choose.
Yes.
What do you rather? Talk about you not doing anything? Or would you rather do something and hear them talk?
Boy, you doing it. Wow.
You want to do something? So do not allow the fear of what others will say to cripple you and to prevent you from taking action to achieve success. Because the truth is that too, even the people who may talk, and the thing is, you have to look at it from two perspectives. What others will say, they're persons, and the same persons who will say good things and they will say bad things. And a lot of time it has nothing to do with you, but everything to do with that person. It could be just the mood that the person is in. They're seeing a good mood. And tomorrow, because they're not in such a good mood, something triggered them, something ticked them off. They decided to see you in a negative light. So do not allow the fear of what others will say to cripple you, because that thing that you're supposed to be doing could also impact and change the life of that same person who might be saying something negative about you in a moment.
Yes.
I move to the third one. In spite of disobedience. Now, in spite of disobedience, I want to look at it in terms of who we're disobeying. And I'm going to save the best for last. But let's start with disobeying our parents. Just think back about your childhood years when your parents would have said mommy or daddy, or just mommy or just daddy, would have said, don't do this or do that. And when we're at that state, a lot of time we don't understand. You're like, why are they behaving like that? Why don't they want you to enjoy life, have fun? And as we grow into adulthood, we realize that, oh, we kind of, especially if we have children, you realize that, oh, you become your parents. And now you understand and see why your parents said you should do something. Now, a lot of times you find that disobedience can cripple your success because you did not do the thing that you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it. Do we also disobey teachers? How many of us can look back at our school years and remember when we had this assignment to do that, we didn't do it? The teacher said, listen, and we didn't listen. And then we get to another level and we realize, oh no, if I had just paid attention in that class, I would be good right now. I'll get a job and you realize that you can't do the accounts because you didn't pay attention in the basic accounting class. Or you start a business and you're wishing now that you could do the basic numbers. Are we disobeying mentors? Do you have a mentor? And if you have a mentor, somebody who you seek advice from, and they say to you based on their wisdom, knowledge, some people, they've done it before. They've done the thing that you want to do before.
That's it.
Do we still disobey them if they say, no, I believe you should take this step? We will say, no, man, I'm not going to do that.
Wow.
And then the most important one in terms of disobedience, in spite of disobedience to God,
Jeez.
have we and are we, right? Because I found myself guilty, disobeying, not obeying what God has said, not obeying the commandments, not doing what he says or said I should do when he said I should do it, how he says I should do it. Now, the good thing is that God is a merciful God.
Yes.
And so we can still achieve success in spite of disobedience. I have disobeyed God numerous times, yet I've still achieved success. Yet he has still guided me and helped me to achieve my purpose or to be fulfilling my purpose. He's still walking with me, even though I had been disobedient several times, because he's a merciful God. And what I've experienced in my own life is that what he will do, sometimes he will delay, right? He will cause delay in the thing that I'm supposed to achieve when I'm supposed to do it.
Yeah.
But he will never destroy you.
Yeah.
If you keep your faith, if you trust in him, if you call out to him, if you cry out to him, he's always there to reel you back in.
Yes.
It's like the story of the prodigal son. He's always there with an open arm. We might have lost a few years. The story of the children of Israel came back to me, where many of that generation did not see the promised land. The other generations did. But God kept his promises. God will always keep his promises to us, even though we might be disobedient at times.
Yes. Wow. Wow.
The next one is in spite of trauma. Trauma, that's a heavy word.
Yeah.
It's a very heavy word for many persons, including myself. But the truth is that most persons experience some sort of trauma in their life at some point. Trauma might be different for everybody. It might be at different levels. It might appear in different ways. It might affect people differently.
Yeah.
But are we using trauma as an excuse not to succeed? Can we succeed in spite of the trauma that we have faced?
Wow.
Now, people experience trauma within their family. There are a lot of families that are experiencing trauma. Some of them don't even realize it. And you may wonder why we can't move from this level to the next. Why is it that as a family we can't achieve this level of success? And it is because there are traumatic situations that people within the family need to heal from.
Yes.
People experience trauma among friends, in friendships. It could be something simple that a friend might have said to you or about you that has caused you to feel traumatized, and you're unable to move ahead, to move along with the friendship, and even to move ahead, because how could my friend, who I trust and love, say this to me? Is it holding me back? People experience trauma because of accidents. And accidents can come in different form. It could be a car accident. It could be anything that has just caused a level of fear that is preventing us from doing the thing that we want to do, because no, we fear that this accident or something similar is going to happen again.
Yeah.
What about trauma in the workplace? Do you know that people experience trauma in the workplace? It could be that your boss, who you look up to, who is also your mentor, said something to you or about you that has crippled you. You cannot perform at the level that you want to because of that crippling comment that the boss made.
Wow.
And that traumatizes people and prevent them from achieving success, prevents persons from applying for that promotion because of that comment. Prevent persons from moving to the next level, from putting themselves out there.
Wow.
What about trauma in the church?
Mm.
There are many Christians who have experienced trauma from church, the place that should be provide solitude, the place that should provide comfort, should provide rest, should provide counseling. There are many persons, many believers who they're traumatized by church or through church.
Yeah.
So they cannot serve as they should because of the trauma.
Yeah.
They cannot be free to do the thing that God has called them to do because of the trauma they experienced. It's
Yes.
almost like you become stuck.
Mm.
You do not want to go beyond the boundaries or beyond the wall. We are placed in a box and we don't want to come out of it.
Yes.
And a lot of it is tied to the trauma that we experienced. Sometimes, too, the trauma that we experienced as it relates to church is not even our own personal trauma, but it is the trauma that our parents experience and grandparents. And that prevents us from doing the thing that we are supposed to do because of what we see our parents experience, of what we see our grandparents experience. And that cripples us from achieving the success and doing the thing that we need to do in order to achieve the success that we should or want to. And sometimes trauma, we might experience trauma from encounters and interactions with strangers. At 18 years old, I experienced my own personal trauma. It's something that I cannot wipe or erase from my mind. But it is something that today I can see how God used that thing that happened to me for good. At the time, I could not see it. At the time, I did not understand it. But even finding my purpose, even starting this NGO, Young Women and Men of Purpose, being able to impact and to interact with so many young women and men has allowed me to confirm and to realize that God used what the enemy tried to use for bad to destroy me for good. Not just for the good for me, but for other people. So in spite of trauma, I want you to understand that you can achieve success. Your traumatic experience, the trauma that you are experiencing, God has a plan. Just I think it was yesterday or the day before in my devotion, I'm reading the book of Genesis and I'm at the end now. But it was just a reminder when Joseph said to his brothers that what you meant for evil, God meant it for good. And that is confirmation today for you, for me, that whatever traumatic experience you experience, you've gone through, the fact that you're alive, remember Joseph should have been dead, but it didn't happen. They couldn't kill him. The enemy couldn't kill him. I could have also been dead, but it didn't happen because God had a purpose for my life. God had a purpose for my life. God has a purpose for your life. No matter what you experience, He has a purpose for your life. You can fulfill that purpose. You can experience success. You can impact others if you just believe in Him, if you just trust in Him, if you just have faith, knowing that He will guide you through it. And the final in spite of is failure. And I mentioned failure when I spoke about fear, but failure has to get a place for itself. And the reason for that is that many of us, all of us in fact, we experience failure or some level of failure throughout our lives. We're going to fail at many things. We have experienced it and we will continue to experience it. We will fail at many things. But the key to success in spite of failure is understanding that you are not a failure. You might experience or you may experience failure in different things, but you yourself is not a failure.
Yes.
So when you experience failure, what do? You have to look for the lessons. What lesson do I need to learn? What lesson have I learned? How can I use this lesson to help me to achieve success? Years ago, my first business, so I didn't include it in my bio, but my very first business was a concessionaire and catering service that I started in 2009. And I ran it for about 9 years. But I experienced many failures throughout that business. I ended up closing the business. And some persons may look at that as a failure or failing business. But there are so many lessons that I learned in running that concessionaire and catering company that have actually helped me to become the person I am. The lessons that I've learned, I can transfer them, and I have transferred them to running a nonprofit organization and a social enterprise. When I do trainings for entrepreneur, I can share my failures, my stories, my mistakes, and the lessons to help and to guide someone else who wants to start their own business. So do not be afraid of failure. Embrace failure. That is how you're going to learn. If you do not embrace the failure, if you're not prepared to fail, then you're not going to learn. There's this one thing that I've not yet overcome in life, and that is being able to ride a bicycle. and maybe I will learn eventually. But one of the reasons why I have not learned to ride a bicycle is because my first attempt, or my first series of attempts, I fell off and I got bruises, and I said, I'm not going to. But everyone who I've spoken with from that point until now, when I share this, they've said that, oh, but all great riders fell off the bicycle. You cannot learn to ride a bicycle if you didn't fall off and if you didn't get some cut or bruises. So what are you choosing today? I chose not to ride a bicycle because I don't have to right now. But what are you choosing? If you want success, you have to be prepared to fail. You have to be prepared to experience failure, because it is in that failing that you're going to learn how to do the thing better. This social enterprise that Robdon mentioned, that link your purpose, that I've now created, leading my team. This social enterprise that last year I went to Dubai to pitch for $100,000 and I received it. When it just started, there were so many signs that this was going to fail. The first sign was that I'm not a techie. I cannot program anything at all. That's not my area of strength. But I had the vision. And I knew that it was possible and I stuck to it. There are people who came to me and said, oh, this will not work. People will not want that service. They will not want this thing. And for years, it's something that I was working on from 2013. And I would have worked on it. I'd have experienced different levels of failure where the thing that we were doing was not the thing that student wanted. That's not what they needed. And I had to be open and prepared. I had to embrace it. And I had to be open and prepared and willing to pivot, to change in order to get to the level that we're at today, where people want to fund this thing, where schools are inviting us in. We're not where we want to be yet, but we are on our way. But it would not have happened if we did not experience those moments of failure. So I want to encourage you. Those are the 5 things that I experience. Those are the 5 main things. There's just a last one that I didn't put in this presentation, which I want to talk about because it's something that I'm experiencing now, and it is something that many persons also experience. What about in spite of health? What about in spite of health? As we get older, especially, you realize that you start having many health challenges because we didn't do the thing that we were supposed to do when we were younger. Or we did what we weren't supposed to do. But how many of us are willing to do the work to get to good health? How many of us are willing to still pursue our goals and our dreams, even when we're tired, even when we don't want to get up out of bed, even when we're feeling pain? How many of us are willing to also submit our pain to God? That's an area that I struggled with. Submitting because we want to do it ourselves. We want to do it ourselves. But the moment that we are able to submit, to recognize what is happening, to acknowledge it, to accept it, and to push beyond it, the moment we start taking that first step, that's when you're going to see that everybody, all the help is going to come. But if we sit at the base of the staircase and we don't get up, we don't try to take that first step, nobody will know that we want to move. And we're not going to be able to get to that next level. So I have experienced some level of success on my journey. And I want to implore you and to encourage you that in spite of whatever, your in spite of might be different from my in spite of, but whatever they are, you can experience success too. Thank you.
Powerful points were laid out for us this evening. Luck cannot stop me. Wow. Oh, you look around and you don't seem to have all you need, but luck cannot stop me. Come on, somebody. I wish you could own that one today. You got that one from the presenter. Luck will not deter purpose. And fear can never halt and bring to a stop that which God intends. Can block purpose. I know that there are many that, that today might be saying, it's just you. But I'm glad that she was sharing her testimony. And as she was sharing her testimony, I was just squeezing mine. I think about my own trauma, but trauma did not stop, cannot stop. And something she said, that you are going to have to get mature, that if you're after success, you are going to meet failure somewhere along the line. In fact, I don't remember if it's Winston Churchill that said failure and success are along the same route.
Yes.
So, You are going to pass them. You will have to get up and get past failure and several steps called failure to get to where you need to go. But understand this, understand this. Only you are the you factor. The real enemy to purpose is really you. If you subscribe to these things, you know, it's only you can halt the thing. Because you know what? The thing has already been released to you already, you know. The Lord don't say, if you ask, it shall be given, you know. The scripture don't tell us that he is a present help in a time of trouble, you know. So the only person who can choose not to take help is you. The only person that can choose to stop is you. Can I just use this time to tell somebody that you may not be getting the likes you want on social media. You may not be getting the hearts and the share and the comments and the support inside of your the comment section or whatever it is. But can I tell you, let purpose be your guide. When you can't see support beside you, look for it ahead. Lord have mercy. I believe that is what Paul said when, in spite of being in prison, he wrote to the Philippians and said, this one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind. You are going to have to get mature, you know, and forget the failure, forget the fears, forget the traumas. Let those things thrust you forward. Let go, Lord of mercy. Can I help somebody here? Let failure push you down, push you forward.
Yes.
Failure must push you, but not backward. You don't hear me? Let failure push you forward. Yeah, man. Let failure push you forward. The one reason you want to get up as a person to impress towards that goal is, yeah, man, the bad story. Yeah, man, all of those who said it couldn't work, all of those who say you will not do it. Listen, nothing better. There's nothing more effective to push you forward than a good failure. No, man, I'm telling you that when they tell you you can't do it, when they say it will never work, just make it work for them to see. Just press because they said it couldn't happen. Just press because somebody was busy cheering that you trip over. Just cheer because they told you you can't be that. Be it and more.
Yes.
Let failure push you forward. I'm seeing Avril right here. It takes a change mindset. Only you can stop you. I want that. Only you can stop you. This is why the enemy or all of those around wouldn't want you to go forward, you know. They only play on the mind because they understand I have to get you to conform to my standard. But I'm glad the Bible says, be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Do not look for the applause from the side to the right beside you. You got to look for it inside of God. Paul says, I press towards the mark. Press tells you he's coming up against opposition, but you are full speed ahead. A prime minister in Jamaica said, not changing course.
No.
I just tell somebody, don't change course this evening. Do not change course to success. You just keep pushing, and you will get there this evening. Wonderful presentation here by Lanisia. I am challenged all over again. Listen, just in case you thought Robdon was going to push harder this year. You know, as I reflected on, as you were sharing, and I remember a particular quotation that I shared earlier. You know, if I could just remember about I think there are two kinds of people that you will literally see. Those who are too fearful for you to succeed. Those are the two people who tell you can't do it. Either they're too fearful to try, or they're too fearful that you will succeed.
Yes. Yes. No, that is true.
So let me just remind someone on here, be careful who you are taking counsel from. Some people are just too fearful to see you do it.
That's true. And sometimes it is their own fear, you know,
Their own.
and it comes from the people you love. I share that with a group of persons some time ago
Yeah,
that so the people you love and people who are very close to you, it's not that they don't want you to succeed, but it's because they would never do this thing that you want to do. And so it's that fear that they have that they try to put on you.
wow, wow. And that one just comes home so real because some years ago I was going to join the military, and I have no doubt. So please don't think Robdon is speaking about haters and doubters now.
Right.
There are small category in this party. I'm siding on the side beside those we are looking together to get that sense of push and support from. And I have no doubt that my mother want the best for me. But I said, Mom, I'm going to join the Jamaica Defense Force.
Yeah.
She said, look how you, Maga. And those people who are abroad who are listening to me like Sister Yvonne, but I just said, you're too slim, perhaps.
Right. Yes.
Yes, you're too meager to hold a gun. She said, you cannot carry.
Yes.
And when she was through with me that night, I was convinced I could.
Oh no.
I was
Just
so
lovely. I wanted to protect you.
exactly.
Yes.
And so sometimes we're gonna have to examine the motive why persons are encouraging you. What lens are they looking through?
Yes.
So you're going to need a real mentor. A mentor is not just someone you pick up and just say, I am going to fall in line behind this person. A
Right.
mentor should be able to see in you what you can't see.
Yes.
Yes, the mentor must recognize potential where you never believe there was potential. Yes, man. And so it was good that I had one other little church brother who, when all the church said to me, "Ooh, you, if you go to the army's backslide, you backslide. God no one no soul." No, this is another one. It was the church that was telling me I have to make a choice
Yes.
between a dream I have and, of course, honoring and serving God. One brother, who I won't call his name, lest somebody decide to have him off. One brother said to me, listen, man, this is your life. And if you feel that push, you can.
Yes.
If you feel you can, you can. That is all I'm going to say. Don't look back 20 years and say, I wish.
True.
And that was all the push. You know what? Sometimes, Lanisia, we're going to have to look in the right direction
Yes.
for help. We're going to have to assess who we're listening to. It's serious.
Yes.
So first, we'll have to change the channel. You have some channels you're listening to, you're going to have to change it. You know, them old time people who have the button, not even remote. Walk up to it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Like, what is on screen, just turn it. And if every channel you go to not working, turn off the channel. But we're not gonna I know we're here a minute, but I want to just do a little bit of talk with Lanisia and what she does, because I think, and I'm very, very much interested in that whole social enterprise. I'm gonna just be throwing some questions and just hear from her. You cannot have the professional, you can't have the person who is doing it before you and not gather and hear all you can hear, so that I don't know who is listening to me, and this perhaps might be a dream of yours, and maybe it's not a dream, but God, I have no doubt that God sent Lanisia here in this moment to be the person to talk and minister to you. And God not only want to minister to your soul, you know, God wants to minister to the whole man. So we're going to be talking some more. So first of all, Lanisia, just tell us what is an NGO and just explain to us the purpose of a NGO.
Okay. So an NGO, which NGO means non-governmental organizations, or some persons will say non-profit organizations or charity or foundation. In essence, they're all the same thing. So that is an organization that is created usually to create impact, to create some sort of social impact, to help the less fortunate, to maybe operate at the grassroots level, serving people who cannot afford to get the services that you're providing otherwise. So that is the main purpose of creating a charitable organization. Most of the work is being given to the beneficiaries for free, or if they have to pay, they're paying, a small amount for the service that they're getting. So that is what a charitable organization is, or an NGO.
Excellent, excellent, awesome. So you don't know, people, if you're thinking about establishing a foundation or a non-profit organization, yeah, a dream. One of the things I love about what Miles Monroe said, and this is what some persons listening to me need to take and listen. Sometimes the problem why we go to social media and vent about people not supporting us because we have the wrong motive. You see, Miles Monroe said, never you try to be successful. And I was like, what? What is wrong with this man? I was mad. I wanted to throw that, kick that computer off. How dare you talk about not be successful? But I decided to listen a little bit more and hear what he said. And so one of the things he shared in that is that, you see, when you're after success, you're after the applause. You're after the affirmation. And you see, when those things don't come, you stop going. You stop pushing. You stop going towards your goal. And what we're trying to tell you here is that true success must come through you persevering in spite of. All right. And so when you don't feel like you are being successful, do it anyway. That's simple what amounts to success. And so what he said is that become the answer to a problem. And I was like, wow. I felt like someone just lifted me off the ground and just put me up a heaven, just show me heaven and bring me back down. Go, what he clearly said is that one, you should solve a problem. There's no level to the amount you can earn when you are a solution to a problem. There's a cap if you are going after success, because today you will rise. Anybody remember some famous young ladies, some famous food product that came out last year? Some favorite social media influencers, some food people, like, I don't want to say mackerel, and I don't want to say bully beef and that kind of thing. But they rose to the top, but for a season. And we're not saying by any means that these people are not going to be successful. The reality is that they will have to do more than the applause to get where they need to go. Because there was one time when they were being featured on every person's paper. Yeah, they were in every gleaner, they were on person's social media platforms. They were the in thing. I guess that's the same way you come in, the same way you go out. Because there's going to be another famous one that comes after. And so that's one of the danger. So as we hear about NGOs, you should be actively looking around your community and asking yourself, how can I bring value to my community? And that's essentially what a foundation exists for. I want to ask now on the matter of social enterprise. I know that this is not a very common term within my Jamaican space. And let me be careful there. Whilst I was there, it wasn't so common of a term. And so, I'm going to ask you to just share with us what is a social enterprise, so to speak.
Yes, so a social enterprise, Robdon, it's a business that exists because it has a social mission that it wants to carry out. But because it is a business, it is generating revenue, it's making profits, but the profits are not going into the pockets of the directors or leaders of the social enterprise, similar to the traditional businesses where it's all about the shareholders and their dividends. It's not happening like that. They are focused on creating impact, making a difference in the lives of the community members, students, or even making a difference in terms of the environment, but doing so in a sustainable manner. They generate income, generate profit, so that they can actually continue the work that the organization is doing and the wider community benefits. So that is what a social enterprise is. It focuses on purpose, people, profit.
But Lanisia, after we work so hard, there's nothing called an honorarium.
So you are paid for what you do. So it's not like a charity or non-profit where you might be doing this voluntarily, right? So even when I started Young Women and Men of Purpose, even today, for the most part, we're still a voluntary organization. We're trying to move away from that because there are people within the organization who want to do this full time. I do it full time. So you want to be able to take care of yourself. But the truth is that many charities start out with a lot of volunteers. The social enterprise, on the other hand, is the people who are working in the business, in the organization, they're paid. So you're paid for the work that you're doing, but it is the profit. After you pay the staff, you pay for everything, and that surplus that you have left, it does not go into your pockets. It goes back into the organization or into the community.
Right. Awesome. And by the way, persons, we're talking for a few more minutes. You're welcome to go ahead and tap in your question. This is not just Robdon's corner. It is called Youth Corner, Young People Corner. All right. So we're gonna ask all the questions that are meant to help us here while Lanisia is here to share with us. Now, Lanisia, I know that what you do is career counseling or career guidance, whatever the terminology they use in your space. There are young persons right now in the middle of this pandemic. I could change, because I've been there for a while, but it could change. At this particular time, high schoolers are wondering, is it better for me to get a job or should I go on to university? And then one of the things that we're most confused as young people, and let me just talk about myself, because by the time I was getting ready to leave high school, I wanted to be everything in the world. Like I couldn't make up my mind. I just want to be doctor, pilot, engineer, everything persons come and talk about a career there. That sound good. I want to be that. And then, the important things I was looking at was, how much money I can make. So what tips do you have for young people, and perhaps they're adults on here, because there are many persons who have not yet found that passion. They're working perhaps in a job, they have gone on to pursue a career, but they're just not feeling the vibes, they're not feeling where they are. And so we want you to help us understand, how do we choose a career, and how and just tie that up with purpose for us here.
Yes. So choosing a career, especially during this space, it is, it's a similar process. It's a similar process now during, this pandemic. It's a similar process when I was in high school. It's a similar process when you were in high school. Maybe we were there at the same time, but we all go through the same thing. The good thing now is that there's talk about career development. Students are getting more help. When I was in high school, I just had that one career fair that you had, where I went and my friends and I, we just wanted to grab all the pens and all the free things, but we did not get the opportunity to sit and talk to anyone. So what I would say, or what I'd say to young people, when it comes to your career, anybody out there who is still not sure if you're doing what you're supposed to do, it starts with asking yourself some questions, some serious questions. You first need to identify what is that thing that you like to do. There's still persons though, even when you ask yourself that question, you might not be able to answer because some persons are not at the level or at the point in their life where they understand what they love. So if you can't answer the question for yourself, ask somebody, ask your family, ask your friends, what do you think I'm good at? What is that one thing that people are always calling on you to do? What is that thing that you're the go-to person? If this needs to be done, so a computer stop working, they're always calling on Robdon to fix it. And you realize, oh, but you're good at that. So if you're able to identify the thing that you're good at, then that is a start in figuring out what career you can actually go into. There are other things that you can look at. As you mentioned, Robdon, you want to look at money, the finances. And the truth is, you want to choose a career that will also allow you to live. But living from a career also has a lot to do with you as an individual. Because the truth is that you and I can pursue the same subjects, the same degree, and you are living well and I'm suffering. You understand? So it goes back to how and what you make of it and the mindset that you have. Not because you're good at fixing computers means that you have to go there and get a job. You can create a job. So entrepreneurship is something that each person, I would encourage everybody from this stage, especially if you're in high school, start to think about it, start to explore it. You don't have to have a meaningful career. It doesn't mean you have to go there and get a job. Understand? You can create your own job. You can put yourself out there as this person who is able to fix computers or to do whatever it is that you're good at and start earning for yourself. It doesn't have to be a last resort when you can't get employed. Especially now with what is happening, there are many persons who are graduated, it's graduation season, who have graduated since last year and they can't get any jobs and they're stuck. But it doesn't have to be that way. Look at your skills, look at the things that you're good at, look at the things that you learn. So sometimes too, at certain points in our lives, part of our career, it could mean that we're going to do something that it's not our passion at this moment, but doing that thing is going to lead you to your passion and to your purpose. So a career, it's like success, it's never a straight line. Sometimes we're going to go up and down. Sometimes we're going to go around the corner, get to that place where we want to go to. So just understand that, embrace everything that you're doing and take your time to figure out, to do things, volunteer, offer your services to other persons, share with persons, teach, and it will help you to figure out what is this thing I like to do. Take a deeper look. What part of this do I like? And when you are doing that, then make a note of it, whether it's mentally or write it down, and then figure out how I can use this thing that I like to get to where I want to do. I give you just a practical example. There are many persons who like science, but not because you like science means you have to go into medicine.
Whoa.
So you might find that you don't like the science subjects. And because you like the science subjects and everybody said, oh, but going to medicine, you're going to medicine, you're not enjoying it, you're not liking being a doctor. But the truth is that you like science, but it didn't mean that becoming a doctor is what you should have done or what you really wanted to do. You could have done something else. Yeah. And so it's the same for any career. You like history, you don't have to be a history teacher. You can become a curator of a museum. You can do other things. So there's so many options, but the way that in which you're going to figure out what you want to do, what you're called to do, is by doing that introspection, paying keen attention, and also asking persons to help you if you can't answer and identify the things for yourself.
Oh, whoa. Lot of food for thought there. I wish I knew you when I was in high school, because maybe I'd be less confused. It's interesting that you mentioned that, because I mean, one of my first thing I did was I remember going on youth service, and I went to work at a school. I was supposed to be assisting the secretary as an administrative clerk. I noticed that there were some computers locked up in a room, and I inquired why was it that computers were locked up in a room, and I never have no degree in I wasn't a teacher or anything. I was just curious. I don't know what moved me. I was just curious. Could be God. Could be God.
Yeah.
And I asked the question, and they were like, "We just can't get a teacher, and the ministry will never release a teacher to a primary school, and those computers were donated, and teachers don't know how to use it, and so they're just there spoiling." I just raised my hand and said, "Can I try?"
Yes.
The principal was like, "No, we can't. You're not a trained." I said, "But isn't it better that I try? How much work can I do than the fact that they're locked up inside of a building?" And she conceded to giving me one half a class just because the teacher was absent. And trust me, I realized I could express myself there. I went inside there and started to try to teach information technology and to come up with my own curriculum, my own plan.
Wow.
And I had to, find some analogies to help the kids to see where I was going. And after the first class, she was so impressed that I now became the unofficial IT teacher for all 9 grades.
Wow. Amazing.
So I had a whole timetable, but I was a voluntary teacher. It was out of that person kept saying, "I think you should be a teacher," and I think you should actually go into teaching that. And look at me now. I've taught Jamaica, and I've taught in the USA, and I've taught in the UK. See, sometimes some little things.
Yes.
That, and I have trained teachers. I have gone to observe teachers and practicum and tell them, "No, I think you should be doing this."
Yes, and that's all it takes. Just exploring and trying, especially if you're not sure what you want to do. That's amazing.
Excellent. Try. How much worse can you do? That was the question I asked myself. How much worse can I do? Right? If I tell them something and they learn, it cannot be worse than them not learning anything at all. One last question that I'm going to toss out there to you, Lanisia, because one of the things that we do here at Positive Vibration, we make sure we connect with all the positive people. God, if you are going anywhere, you better find yourself in the line of those people who are already going somewhere. That's one of the things I make sure that we do here. I have a question though. When we consider there are persons on here, you have mentioned that they don't have to go on to college. What are those steps? Because sometimes starting a business can be this big theoretical thing, and it just abstract, and we don't know how to bring it to reality to let persons see how simple it is to just launch and just get started. So I want to give us your best tips. So to starting that business, one, recognizing the need for that business and going ahead and activating that plan.
Okay. So the tips that I would give to anyone who is thinking about it, or even if you haven't thought about it because you're not sure it didn't cross your mind, once you are looking for a way to, whether it's impact lives, to make more money, which is one of the main drivers in to leading persons to starting their own businesses, you want to help people, then I would encourage you to look at your skills and your expertise. What are you good at? What is this thing, or what are those things that you are good at? What are those things that people are always coming to you for? What kind of questions are people coming to you with? What problems do people have and they come to you as the person who has the solution to these problems? And once you're able to figure that out, then that is the first step to starting your business, because you would know at this point the type of business that you're going to start. So when you figure that out, this is where you have to take the first step. You have to be bold. This is where you're going to ignore all the things that I would have mentioned. You're going to put aside the fear, right? You're going to put aside everything else. Fear of failure, fear of what people will say, fear of, you're not good enough or you don't know enough. people came to you and they asked for your advice, it means that you know more than somebody else. And the fact that you know more than somebody else means you have something to offer to somebody. Okay? So I would say to you at this point is to package it. Package what you have. So be very clear on it. What can I help people with? What are they always asking about? And if you don't know, we're all on social media. You can create a poll on Instagram and Facebook. You can even just send out a poll on WhatsApp or Telegram, whatever it is, and check with persons to see what what is it that they would need help with in the area that you are good at. And you can also ask them questions about, the amount that they would be willing to pay. You might have to go outside your friends and family zones for this, because maybe your friends and family may not want to pay. They want it for free. Yes, right? But so you might want to go outside and look at what other people are doing. The truth is that when it comes to business ideas, organization, nothing is new. If you Google an idea that you have, I'm sure it's going to come up somewhere else in the world. Somebody's doing something similar. The good thing is, though, nobody can do it the way you can. Nobody will have the execution plan the way you have it. But the idea already exists. It means that there's something that you can learn from somebody who's already doing this thing that you want to do. You can use that to get guidance and help you to set up your own. Don't be afraid to share. So when you have this level of clarity in terms of what you want to do, you know that people want the service, you have an idea of how much they're willing to pay, or even if you don't know yet, don't be afraid to share. A lot of times, people have great ideas and it remains in their head, in their mind, because they don't want to share. And people will not want to share for different reasons, because you think, oh, somebody is going to steal my idea. And it goes back to the point, if you put the idea on Google, it's going to come up somewhere else. The truth is that when you share your idea, you never know who you're sharing with. That person that you might share with might connect you with somebody who can help you to start that business. The person you're sharing with might see an opportunity and say, this is for you. And I share that because I've experienced that. So don't be afraid to share. That person might have done something similar to what you want to do and can give you some tips about how you can go about it. So don't be afraid to share. That person could also be your first client. You never know. So don't be afraid to share. And put that together and just launch. Do not wait on the perfect moment. Do not wait on the perfect website. Do not wait on the perfect product to launch. Launch anyway. Just start telling people. Start saying, even before you have anything set up, oh, I'm going to do this thing. I shared earlier that when I started my catering business in 2009, the truth is that before I had any equipment, I had business cards. And before I even started, I used to go to events and I was telling people, like, what do you do? I'm like, well, I'm an instructor now, but I'm going to start my own catering business. And I gave them the cards. And the truth is that my first function came from one of those persons who I gave my card to, even before I did anything. And that has followed me in different things too. So don't be afraid to share what you're doing. Don't be afraid to just put it out there and start. If you are employed or if you're a student, if you're employed, use some of the money that you're earning to buy one equipment or material, right, that you will need. Invest in yourself, right, so that you have something. If you're a student, you don't have the finances, use your skills. So you can design your own card, you can design your own flyer. There are many apps and so forth that you can use and just put yourself out there. And the final thing that I would say is you also have to be strategic about it. So if you, for example, want to go into, let's use a catering business, you like to prepare food, or you like to bake cake. Say you like to bake cake. And you know the truth is that you don't have the money to buy the ingredients. But you design the flyer yourself, you created your Instagram page or your Facebook page, you put it out there. The first client, your first prospect calls you, wants a cake. So you are going to be smart about it and you're going to use some strategy and say, okay, I will bake the cake for you. I require 50% down payment, and then 50% after delivery. So there's really and truly no excuse for you not to deliver a product or service and start your business, because the client is going to pay you upfront the money that you need to go buy the ingredients, bake the cake, to give it to the person. So I would say if you put all of those things together, then you can get started on your entrepreneurial journey and just ensure that you're maintaining the quality and you're maintaining your integrity, and you're also just offering excellent customer service to your customers.
Wow, wow. Wow, wow. There you go. This is what we do inside of the Youth Corner. We give you real life tips. I know in some space you may hear, don't tell a dream because people will take your dream. Well, let me just tell you on this platform, let me just reiterate what Lanisia said. You are going to at some point become a venture capitalist. And so you will need to get yourself a portfolio with your plans and learn to properly present your idea. So I know in some spaces, your men and women, and let me not say of God, your friends and colleagues may tell you that, boy, don't share your dream, and persons will this and persons will that. Listen, there is nothing new under the sun. But understand this, there's nobody who can do it like you. So guess what? Share that, because out of sharing that, there are persons in your life who you will come across who might have good advice to give to you, to help you. Some may never have started the business, but they also have a piece of the idea that you need. You know, some persons don't know how to do this. And I'm just going to just put this out there a little bit. When I published my first book, Lanisia, I wasn't thinking about writing. No, I didn't even see myself as a writer, to tell the honest truth. I didn't see myself as a writer.
Wow.
I was consider myself. You know how long ago that was? That was just September last year. First, I know what I say first. I did not see myself. But sharing some ideas with a colleague, and a colleague say, well, I know how it works theoretically. I can talk you through the process, but I don't know how to do it. But guess what? I was a technology person, the one who got YouTube University and Google University. So when he provided the guideline, guess what I do? Hit the Google and pull it up. Tomorrow when he link me, I say, oh, I'm learn to do that one day. What else you know?
Yes.
And today, personally, I would have co-authored perhaps 5 books.
Wow.
And I would have written 2 independently. And those would have been written over a few months.
Wow, look at that.
And
congratulations.
Thank you very much. And we're not done yet.
Yes, of course.
We are not done yet. So listen, don't be afraid to share your advice. And sometimes because someone has written already, you mind, somebody doing the same thing that you think you're going to do, you think, oh God, if you tell him he's going to write what I want to write. There ain't nobody on this globe who is exactly like you. Nobody carries that DNA. Nobody thinks exactly like you. We can talk about the same topic and I'm still going to deliver it with difference because it's going to be done uniquely me. So just want to let you know, people, listen, let us learn to start sharing and expressing our ideas. You must have somebody who you can share. There are going to be those people who think your idea bad. I've shared many ideas with people and that not going to work. We are living some of it now because of being willing to still go ahead and do it. People are not at the same level with you. That's how I look at it. You might be on the mountaintop where you're seeing a good view of the sea, and they're down in the valley telling you that it can't work. The reason because they're not up the mountaintop. They don't have the same view and scope that you have. So guess what? And don't take everybody for haters now because I'm telling them in the valley say it can't work. Maybe him honestly couldn't say it will work. It's true. If I am on the hill, I'm going to have a clearer view than someone who is down inside of the valley. So I'm just going to have to learn to understand, all right, I'm just not there with me there.
Yes. That's
And just keep going. And just keep going. Just keep going. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we have come to the end of this week's Youth Corner. I am excited to have had Lanisia in the house. And I know this now going to be the last. I know it's the first, but it can't be the last. Because one thing you must know with Robdon, I want to be a part of those who know so that my database can increase. I want to be empowered, so I stay among those who can empower. I'm sorry, I'm soaring with the eagles. Call me optimistic if you want, but that's fine. I'm going to be moving with those who are moving. So I'm very happy to have had you here, Lanisia. And, I mean, you have shared some very powerful points, great tips. I'm seeing great advice coming, awesome advice in the comment section. People nobody ask no question. This is how you know you teach well. Students understand and all that kind of thing. So you have done awesome. Well, here's Stephanie said there's a lot of chicken restaurant, but nobody does it like KFC. And I guess and it doesn't matter how much restaurant they on that lane, KFC have its own crowd. Just understand that.
Yes. But you can get the overflow when KFC is full.
Yes.
Come to you.
Overflow. Why are you worried about somebody doing the same business? They might be drawing somebody closer to you into that circle. And when they are overwhelmed, they're going to have a call, They say,
Yes.
Story tell us in Luke 5 that when Peter thrust down in the deep and the net started to break, he started to call the others for help. Ordinarily, he probably would not have called for help.
True. That's good.
Let us pray that those who are in competition might be so overwhelmed that it pour over to me. Full them up, Lord. Full them up. Because if you can't handle it, the surplus must flow down to me. Full them up, Lord. Can we pray a new prayer today? Say, God bless them.
I love that prayer. I'm going to adapt it, definitely.
Because if they have a container and it's full, it must overflow. They must come. I say, hey, look here, man. Take some of them people. I am praying that God will fill up some of those who are doing the same thing I'm doing, full them up, God, so that they have to recommend Robdon.
Yes, and Lanisia.
Full them up, so that they have to recommend us. Yes. So that we can get the task done. What an awesome evening it has been. But we now come out here without first reminding you that the reason with Robdon, Positive Vibration, EOB, Impact Online Bible Institute, all of us come together, build a man foundation, and we are presenting, we want to present Positive Vibration 365 Global Scholarship for the first time, And me not like all the people who sit down and listen to me, not telling the people in them comments to come and apply. Listen, hello. Papa San sing a song, say money running me down. Hello, I got people who wants to give back to you, and all you need to do is go complete a form and click send. Listen, we don't now get it for free. We don't now get it without type something. So guess what? We're now gonna change your mind. If you want it, you gotta come get it. The link is available. It is Reason with Robdon. Reason with Robdon. Type that website in. If you know any young man who is graduating from primary school, needs some help with getting books, maybe it's a computer that he wants to get, tell him to go ahead and complete the application process so we can pass it through our little committee and we will make it happen. All right. So please pass on the word as we continue to impact lives. Remember, we say real issues, real solution. So we're not just talking about the problem, but we want to be a part of those who are offering real solutions. All right. So tell the people them at Jamaica, say them to come apply. Don't let me have to call out a name on the phone, See our sister Hillary, the quiet at Canada, help me. Hello, Deborah. Hello, Sister Andrew. Hello, Sister Jackson. I wonder if she's in Jamaica. Don't let me call your names out. Please go ahead and just invite those to come and be a part. We want to be positive for somebody. Ministry must be practical, and you must be able to help. And that's what we stand right here at Positive Vibration. Youth in Action, the Youth Corner. All right, so we're going to be joining you again tomorrow at 6:29 a.m. for devotion. 7:29 if you're in Eastern Standard Time, and if you're there in a UK like me, it's 12:29. Eat your lunch and come. And we will be sharing a quick devotion with you tomorrow. You know what we say quick? We're going to be sharing a quick devotion with you. And this is how we continue to do this 365 plus days for the year. That's what we stand for. We stand for empowering, impacting lives. So with that said, I'm going to allow Lanisia just to say her final word, and then we're out of here.
Wow, this is amazing, Robdon. Thank you so much to you and your team for inviting me into your space just to share my experience. In spite of achieving success nonetheless, to your listeners. And I just want to leave by just encouraging anyone who is listening today that no matter what you're going through, in spite of what you have experienced, in spite of what you're experiencing right now, you can still achieve success. You can still, come out on the brighter side if you just stick to it. Don't give up. Don't give up. If you just remain persistent and if you just continue to or start activating your faith and understand that no matter what you're going through, no matter how bad things look, no matter how dim the light may appear right now, remember at the end of the day that all things will work together for the good of those who love the Lord. And God will use this bad experience that you might be experiencing right now for your good. But you have to persist. You cannot give up. Because if you give up, then that is when you really experience failure. But if you just continue to hold on, then you will get to the other side of failure, which is success. So all the best in everything that you do, in your businesses, in your careers, in your jobs, in everything that you do. Just continue to strive and continue to do your best, and you will be successful.
God bless you. Thank you so much. And we leave you this evening. Have yourself a blessed evening. Join us again tomorrow. All right. Until next time, take care.
Wendemar Business Services. Business is what we do. From H-2B and J-1 tax filing to visa application and appointment bookings, proofreading of documents, minute writing services. We write your resumes and application letters. Find us today on Facebook and on Instagram. Wendemar Business Services. Business is what we do.